Hey everyone, I'm just going to start off the video by introducing the triceps brachii. An interesting fact is, as you can see in the image, it's the only muscle located on the posterior upper arm. It has three heads, so there's the long head, the medial head, and the lateral head. Uh, the medial and lateral head have almost a similar origin point. It's just that the lateral head is a origin point of the posterior surface of the proximal half of the humerus, while the medial head has the origin point of proximal surface distal half of the humerus. The long head has a totally different origin point, being at the infraglenoid tubercle of the scapula, but they all have the same insertion point. As you can see, they come together and insert at the olecranon process of the ulna. Now, as far as the actions for the triceps brachii, all of them extend the humeral ulnar joint, but the long head has two actions in addition to extending the elbow. As you can see in the text, it extends the shoulder and then adducts the shoulder. In the next video coming up, you'll see proper palpation techniques and then visual representation of how the triceps brachii extends the elbow.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I'm future DPT Christopher Go, and I'm just going to be showing our audience the triceps brachii muscle group today, okay?
Okay.
You're going to be fine with me palpating the muscle group?
Yes, sir.
Perfect. So we're going to start with the long head of the triceps brachii. This is going to originate on the infraglenoid tubercle of the scapula, so right here, and then we're just going to palpate and trace it all the way down to the olecranon process. So infraglenoid tubercle of the scapula, olecranon process of the ulna. And then we have the lateral head of the triceps brachii and the medial head. Both originate on the posterior aspect of the humerus, but one is proximal half, which is the lateral head, and that traces down all the way to the olecranon process as well, and then the medial head, which is the distal half of the humerus, and that goes all the way down and attaches to the olecranon process as well. The main actions of the triceps brachii is to extend the elbow. So if I ask AJ here to forcefully, extend his elbow, you can actually see the lateral head, and you can palpate that by, running your fingers perpendicular to the muscle. So lateral head. Unfortunately, the medial head is a little bit more deeper, or is deeper to the lateral and the long head, so you can't really get a good palpation of that muscle. But the long head, you can also palpate as well. So lateral head you can fully palpate, and then the long head you can palpate as well. Moving on to the last two actions, the long head actually extends the shoulder. So if I were to ask AJ to bring his arm back towards me, its main actions are to extend the shoulder and then also to adduct the shoulder, AD. So if I ask him to bring his arm back to his waist, it also is responsible for that. And the last thing to include is the innervation of the triceps brachii. The nerve that's responsible is the radial nerve, and the roots from the radial nerve are C6 to 8 and then T1.
The athletic motion that AJ will be performing is a frisbee toss. Since the action takes place in the transverse plane, the motion is going against gravity. At this point, the elbow is fully extended. During a frisbee toss, the triceps brachii are concentrically controlling this action. The triceps brachii are extending the elbow, allowing AJ to throw the frisbee.
Hey, my name is Shariar, and I'm going to be explaining this activity of daily living, or raising yourself from a chair. And I'm going to be explaining what your triceps brachii muscles do during this process. So, while you raise yourself from the chair, the action that occurs at your humeral ulnar joint is extension. And with the effects of gravity, that will be flexion. Now, because this is going against gravity, this is going to be a concentric contraction. And because this is concentric, we need to focus on which muscles are shortening. And that will be your posterior muscles, also known as your triceps brachii muscles. So in conclusion, your triceps brachii muscles concentrically contract to cause extension at your humeral ulnar joint. and this will lead you to successfully raising yourself from the chair.